We are going to officially get a nice recording. Hello. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
All right. We got lots of folks in the house. We got Anna and Terry and Mark and Vincent and Rayanne and Rowena. All right. So, can everybody share where you're from? That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be great.
Where are you from?
I recognize a few names, but I don't know everyone because this is kind of the first time we're doing a
joint webinar.
joint webinar.
Yeah.
I know. So lots of new folks. Just so you guys know, and also just general housekeeping. I am calling in from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So I don't know if you know, but Mexico is not always the most reliable when it comes to the internet. I am prepared with my handy dandy hotspot in case we have any issues. But hello from Mexico.
Yeah, we got Bulgaria and Bonaire, San Francisco. I'm in Erie, Pennsylvania, so it's starting to get cold here. It was 39 when I woke up this morning. A little bit cold.
Whoa.
I know.
This is why I only visit you in the summer, Jason.
Right. All right. So let's see. So first of all, anybody who here, just a real quick temperature check, who has an agency that currently, they're performing services for clients, and who wants to get into the agency business. So real quick in the chat, if you just let us know, that'd be awesome. And Kenya is from Pittsburgh. We are
one, if you have an agency, and two, if you are looking to get into the agency business, you're doing something else and you don't have an agency. And by agency, we do mean that you sell services to clients, whether you use that word or you consider yourself like a freelancer or something. But number one, if you sell marketing and or any kind of service to various clients, you don't just have a job, you don't have a W-2, you don't work with one client. And two, if like this is something you've been thinking about doing, you want to ditch your 9-to-5, you're not in this yet, you've heard about it, you tried it, you're not doing it now, all those things go in the number two. Maybe you own a catamaran. I'm just kidding. I'm seeing
right.
Maybe you're in the catamaran business, you don't sell services. Okay. So cool. So I see some ones. I do see some twos. I was thinking, Jason, we would be really one heavy because of both of our audiences, but we do have quite a bit of people that are just thinking about it.
Yeah, which is awesome. And what you'll find is that Kate and I have different styles when it comes to building these kinds of businesses. And that's the beauty of us teaming up on something like this is, Kate has done a lot of the relationship side of the house. Like she's built her agency and sold and worked with a lot of clients that she's had a relationship with. Whereas I built an agency that had more clients, but less intimate connections, kind of, so it was people who came and they kind of sought us out and said, hey, I need an agency. And I said, awesome, that's what we do. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds through this presentation. Acme, PA. Vincent is in. I mean, we got some Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we have Pennsylvania is representing.
Yeah. So any truck drivers, truck drivers tend to gravitate towards me. I'm just kidding. Not really.
Does it count if my dad is one? No.
Yeah, no, that counts. It counts. All right.
Speaking of my dad, actually another Pennsylvania connection here. All right.
Henderson, Nevada. I love Henderson. Henderson's very nice. Okay, cool. So we should probably do some work. We should probably get going.
Let's do it.
All right. So our presentation today, escape the 9-to-5, launch a profitable agency with skills that you already have. So it's the webinar you signed up for. Nothing too crazy there. But we're going to go through some pretty cool stuff today. So what we're So the way the kind of the framework of this webinar, there's a lot of text on the screen. There's a lot of stuff that we're trying to jam in terms of techniques and frameworks and all that other stuff. But what we want to do is show you how to land your first or next paying customer within hopefully days, maybe hours. A lot of times when we teach this technique, you end up getting stuff really, really quickly, So we're going to talk through action plan framework, which is kind of a fancy way of saying it's a consultative selling technique. And it's something that both Kate and I do. And we've learned it from a lot of our predecessors. We kind of take that strategy and mold it to our own. So we're going to walk you through that. I want to show you how to turn what might be a $500 or $1,000 client into a $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 monthly retainer. And it's, again, something that Kate and I have worked on. We've kind of worked on different sides of this coin, but we want to make sure that you are being treated as the expert that you are and being seen as a partner from your clients, not a vendor. Like, vendor's a terrible word. We don't ever want to be a vendor. When a client even says vendor, I'm like, piss off, you don't
want to be on the expense. You don't want to be in their mind as an expense, right? You want to be an investment.
Right. And that's, and when they think of you as a vendor, then they treat you like a vendor, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there. So we're going to walk through that framework. We're going to walk through the local business goldmine strategy. And then we're also going to talk about what we call the retainer elevator technique. And what it does is it steadily increases your monthly client value without scary price jumps. And literally, it's just kind of one little tiny thing that we started doing a couple months ago with our agendas that we create for clients. So we're going to talk about that. Cool. So that means no more underpricing your services, no more lacking confidence in your pitches, no more chasing the wrong clients, no more generic, non-specific services, no more feast or famine, which I know personally, way back in the day, it's like you work so hard to sell a client, and then you make some money, and then you go pay off all your credit cards, and then you start doing some work, and then that client goes away. And then you got to go sell another client, and then you pay off all your credit card, and then it's this rat race, and we don't want that. No more imposter syndrome, no more wasting time on unqualified leads, and no more feeling overwhelmed trying to do it all on your own. So
cheers to that.
Cheers.
Jason has kind of been out of some of that rat race a little bit longer than me. My discoveries came late in my career. So really empathize with anyone that has been struggling in this area to really what we're going to teach today around specializing, charging more, really understanding that the market is ready and willing to pay higher rates for your services, and not feeling bad or guilty, which a lot of us do sometimes, that we should be more sympathetic to the client's business or financial situation, which is just really not the case. Right. So I know for me, it was a little bit of trial and error, but after the first times, to the point of this slide, of finally being able to charge what you're truly worth, it has been a thing where I haven't really gone backwards since then. So it really started for me around 2019, after already having a 10-year career and undercharging, and really finally charging what I felt like I was worth, and creating good structure and good boundaries with clients where I wasn't, all the things that were on just the past slides. I can't emphasize this enough. This is what I'm preaching and teaching so much these days to the folks that are in my world, and why partnering up with Jason to bring you guys this content gives you another avenue or another model to look at inside of the service, inside of the agency model that isn't the one the path that I took, where you can earn what you're worth, even with having more clients instead of charging larger rates. So anyways, we'll get into it for sure, but hopefully you guys will leave with really that certainty for yourself, that certainty for yourself that this is a real possibility, that these are real actionable steps that you can take to transform the way your business is going. And it's a great time. Sorry, I don't want to make this webinar 4 hours long. We're only on slide 4. But this is a great time of year to be thinking about it, because while we just started Q3, you have 3/4 of the year under your belt. And I bet in January of this year, you said to yourself that you were going to change things, right? That you were going to try new things, that you're going to stop doing new things, and that by the end of the year, you had certain goals that you wanted to reach. And so now is a good time with 3/4 of the year. It's not too late to change it. Number one, it's not too late to get a head start, but it also is a fair amount of time to evaluate yourself and look and see, what worked and what didn't, and then using the information that you're going to get today to start making some changes so that those goals you have for yourself in the next 12 months, you can really start to put these things we're going to teach today into practice and start to accomplish some of those things for yourself.
That's awesome. And truly, November and December have been my biggest months historically, non-COVID times. So like looking back through, and that's actually where we're going next, is talking about the opportunity of what we're getting into. But non-COVID, November and December, the first month I actually broke 100,000 a month in revenue, which we talk about a lot, in the accelerator. But first month I broke it was December, actually. So, and it was pre-framing all of the January stuff. So it was like, well, we need to get you started now so that we are ready to launch in January, when traffic is cheaper, when people are locked inside in the snow and the cold. And they're like, oh, yeah, you're right. We do need to launch. We need to have all of this up and running like 30 days prior to when we actually want to go live. So that helped a lot, that kind of emotional trigger. But let's talk about opportunity. So the New York Times, obviously, COVID changed everything. The virus changed the way we internet, which is something that Kate and I, Kate brought this to my attention. This article, because it made a big impact on her. And what happened was, we as a people started using the internet so much more and so much faster. So what happened was all of a sudden Facebook took off in popularity. YouTube took off in popularity. Netflix. I mean, all of the things that we all collectively did, we sat at home, we were on the internet, we were on social media trying to get news and updates and trying to message our friends and everything because we were locked inside. What that made us do was start adopting these new behaviors. Curbside pickup, delivery, FedEx, like all of the things that people were fearful of, they had to start doing,
Yeah, people who had never processed a transaction online before, afraid to put in their credit card kind of thing. Like it bumped everyone across that threshold, right? And then because of that accelerated the adoption of e-commerce 4 to 6 years within just a really short time frame. So what does that, so what does that mean? It means businesses were suddenly aware that the internet was the only way to get a message, to people, and businesses that weren't using the internet in general during that time, really failed. But the benefit of all of this content consumption online, engagement on social media networks, and the shopping and online commerce that's happening all leads to good news for those of us that provide services to these businesses that support their website, their social media, their video marketing, their content marketing, etc.
Yep. Yeah. So by 2027, it's expected that 41% of global retail sales are going to happen online. Numbers staggering. And that was put out by the Boston Consulting Group. Businesses that aren't online will stall out and probably close in the next 3 years. And we see that, right? We see retail. You walk through a mall and it's like all we see closing storefronts. We were at the Mall of America over the summer, and there's closing storefronts in the Mall of America, or like Auntie Anne's Pretzels is occupying a third stall or something, like, so it's crazy. There's entire wings, like old, Sears department stores are being turned into data centers, so there's lots of things that are happening because so much of it is moving online. But that's an opportunity for us because everybody is pushing that. Everybody's pushing online. So we are very well positioned to help them. And it doesn't take that many clients to make you a lot of money, from an agency or from a freelancer standpoint, when you're charging $2,500, $3,000, $5,000, $7,500 a month, which we can help you get, So here are 24 different kinds of skills, 24 skills the businesses are going to pay top dollar for. Now, this is stuff, in Kate's world, content marketing, social media management, those are the ones that, she has been preaching for the last decade. So some of the stuff that we sell, graphic design, copywriting, marketing automation, paid ads, SEO, web development, all stuff that has been around and will continue to be around. But look at some of these other ones: data analytics and reporting. Video marketing has been around. User experience design. Conversion rate optimization is kind of a new one. MarTech, from a consulting standpoint. Reputation management. We have a client that does $4 million a year just doing reputation management. That's it. It's the only service they offer on this chart. $4 million a year business. Voice search optimization. Holy shit, that's a thing. That's a thing, right? AR marketing, virtual events and webinar management, affiliate marketing, customer experience strategy, marketing localization, all the AI stuff, all the chatbot stuff that is coming out. Like, these are all, one of my clients just paid $7,500 to get a chatbot set up for them inside Closebot, which is an AI software. $7,500 for a 30-day engagement to get a chatbot set up inside Closebot. Like, all the specialization, all of the stuff the businesses are paying for, you can take a skill that you have or something you're passionate about or something you're willing to learn and be able to start offering it to services or start offering it to businesses that will pay good money for it. Now, who is a good fit for agency life? And I only bring this up because I want to talk about who's a bad fit for agency life, and Kate just dropped off. So, the internet down there is no good. We have these Friday calls, and she'll just, some days just pop on and off depending on what the weather is. So it's raining down there at the moment. So she'll be back. Maybe she's back now. Yeah, she's back. There we go. Okay. So, and Dawn says I can list so many more skills. Absolutely.
The good news, I'm glad I got back. The good news about the skills is a couple things. One is there's so many opportunity to specialize in something, which you'll hear us talk about later. So, Jason and I came up in a time where we're all generalists. So we know a little bit about all of these things, and that's one version of what we sell. But what I think is so great about this is that the more special, we always talk about how the more specialized you become, the more that you can charge. And now that, it's like, social media, for example, social media used just to be called social media. Now you need video editing skills, graphic design skills, copywriting skills. You need to know metrics and tracking skills, in addition to the community management and engagement skills. There's all these things on the team. It's like, these are all specializations, but big companies are, they understand this, and they will hire specifically for it. They hire consultants specifically for each one of these areas. And so this is what starts to make The opportunities endless
Yep.
for specialization. In addition, though, if you want to have a bigger agency like Jason's, what we're going to talk about is that getting one client in one area then allows you to branch out and start adding a lot of these other services, which is what, in my situation, like we've talked about, I started in social media, then I expanded to content marketing to include YouTubing, podcasting, blogging, all of these other things. And it just kind of kept growing from there. But if I can get one client to come on that just wants me to help them grow their Instagram, I can turn that client into a full-blown fractional CMO client, just adding services with them bit by bit. So there's a lot of different ways to see the opportunity or the benefit of these, these skills.
Makes total sense. So who makes a good agency owner? Who makes a good B2B service provider? So first of all, aspiring entrepreneurs looking to start their own digital marketing agency, obviously, aspiring entrepreneur, a freelancer, a marketing professional who's tired of their 9-to-5 grind, existing agency owners struggling to scale or increase profitability. Profitability is a big one when it comes to agencies because more clients means more work, more bodies. Well, it used to mean. Now, if you're smart with AI, then you can leverage that quite a bit. Anyone with basic digital marketing skills looking to monetize them more effectively, self-motivated individuals, and people comfortable with technology. All really good fits for like working with businesses and agency owners. You get to work when you want, where you want, with who you want, and earn as much money as you want. There is a book by Michael Masterson, and on the 4th or 5th page of that, it was Ready, Fire, Aim. 4th or 5th page of that book literally, is I work with who I want, where I want, when I want, doing what I want, making however much I want. And I'm like, well, shit, that's like literally my dream right there, right? So as an agent,
highlight for me was getting to get work with him during my time at Agora, and him being very smart, right? It's like get your work for your heroes, and they call you smart. That's like,
yeah, it was. So I remember highlighting that, and I was like, that's the life I want to live. So as an agency owner, you get to have that to a degree. But you have a thing, called deadlines when you work with an agency, it's work and you're rewarded for it. Yes. But what clients expect, they expect results. They expect getting shit done. They expect performance of their campaigns, which reads results. They expect your expertise, and then they expect some more results. So,
right. They expect results. And then on top of that, those results are never enough results. Then there's always more results. Which is continuous optimization, right? The CANI thing, continuous and never ending improvement, right? It's one of the things I love about being in the digital space is that it's constantly growing, evolving, changing. There's always something to optimize, always be optimizing.
Yep.
There's always a new technology. There's always something broken. There's always something, to juggle. So it makes it fun. And yes, you can do the work where you want, when you want. Like I moved to Mexico, right?
Yep.
Because I want to live at the beach and I want to enjoy that sort of lifestyle, and I can do it with only occasional internet outage. But it can be I would be lying if I didn't say there's a lot of pressures that comes with taking big retainers, like the saying, we got to come up with one, Jason, for like a bumper sticker, like with big retainers comes big responsibility, right? Like also comes a lot of pressure and oftentimes late nights and challenging conversations and all of that. But in the end, if you can balance those things in a way that works, for you, then this obviously is a very fun and rewarding path to take.
Totally. And that's who's not a good fit. So people who are looking to get rich quick, it's not a good fit. This agency life, this, working with other businesses. People with no interest in digital marketing or running a service-based business. And I say that specifically because people will not call me, but they'll they'll apply to work with Done For You, which is kind of our sales model. And they're like, well, I want to start I just want to make a lot of money. I don't really care what niche. I don't care what kind of business. I just want to make a lot of money. Like, well, shit, like you're telling me you want to make a lot of money, but I'm going to tell you need to have at least the next 3 to 5 years in this business in order for you to generate significant revenue, so, which means you got to work at it. There's no such thing as a passive income. Literally, there's not a thing called you can pay somebody else to create income for you passively. Sure. You can work, you can pay employees, but there's no such thing as passive income. Somebody is working for that income for you. So yeah, people, if you don't have interest in digital marketing, this isn't a great fit. If you're expecting to succeed without initial investment or risk, this isn't a great fit. People who prefer a structured 9-to-5 job. I put in so many early mornings and late nights in the early years of this business. I don't now. I work 9 to 5. just gonna say.
It's not 9 to 5 in the beginning, but you'll get yourself to the 9 to 5. Yeah, for sure.
And now I have steady paychecks with benefits, but that's because I created all of that. Setting up payroll for your team, it's not all that fun. So, but anyway, the biggest thing is self-motivation, time management. You have to be comfortable knowing that you're able to get something done for a client. And also in the early days, you have to be comfortable with sales, and I wasn't. So you're going to have conversations with prospects, and first 3 or 4 sales calls I had, I was too scared. I didn't even pitch them. I was like, thank you. It's a great conversation. I'll email you something, maybe,
For sure. I struggled with this for a long time. And then I finally started even trying to learn more about it. I joined one of our friends' mastermind who teaches a rapid selling system. But really, actually, what it took was a lot of practice and me taking and learning from other people and just practicing. But back to what we talked about at the beginning, it was the confidence, right? It was the confidence of getting the client, producing the result, cashing their check, and then knowing that I could do it over and over again. That now when I speak to clients, it's not really selling. It's more me telling them previous case studies of things that I've done, what I believe that's worth, what that has been worth to the company. And so it's not really selling at all. And I think one of the, people that struggle with selling just need to get out of their head about selling and just have conversations, which is something that we go deep into a little later on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. This is Kate's section.
Yeah. So, every webinar is a little bit about, a little bit about us. And so since some of you guys are from Jason's audience and you've been living under a rock, you don't know who I am. I'm just kidding. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me, but I'm going to use the opportunity also to kind of share with you the type of agency that I've built and the information that I will be bringing, the perspective here. So I was a W-2 employee. My degree is in dance. I was teaching ballet, doing something totally different. So I'm all self-taught, not only in the digital marketing side, but also from a business perspective, whatsoever, right? So in 2008, I did have a corporate job and I got laid off. It was right around this time of year, October. And my boss was really great. She gave me 2 months to look for a job. And so January 1st, 2009, I was, officially unemployed and looking for work. And I had heard that I could find work on social media. And so this is why I got on Twitter and I started networking. I started learning everything that I could. And it was over time where I started building up, getting clients, taking a W-9. I was taking contract work just to make ends meet, while I was still really looking for like a Best Buy or something like that to hire these companies that were kind of on the cutting edge of social media at that time. But what happened was, like, within 6 to 9 months, I had built up enough work that I was needing to hire help. And within 18 months, I was making $10,000 per month online, which was like double what I had made at my job before. And this is about the time when I looked at my husband to say, like, I think I'm going to stop looking for a job and I'm going to focus on this business. And at the same time, I had a lot of people asking me, how did a ballet teacher, start making 10 grand a month online? I don't know what that would be with inflation now in 2024, but nonetheless, it was it's still a 6-figure salary, which for a lot of people was the goal. And I like accidentally, stumbled onto it. But it was really as I began teaching that I started creating frameworks and actually observing and looking back in the patterns to see what was it that I was doing, what were the packages, what was the pricing. And really, there are a lot of social media manager courses that came out of those frameworks and that training. And the reality is I was just making it up. That's one of my other favorite things about this business is you just kind of pay attention, see what's happening, listen to clients, listen to their needs, and you can kind of put together packages and things on the fly. So that's kind of how I got started online. And then we can go to the next slide, Jason.
Yeah.
All right. So since then, right? So since January 1st, 2009, when I started on my own, I've been able to speak at, I built my personal brand. I've been able to speak at conferences all around the world. I work with amazing clients. I literally do have the work with who I want. Now that I have such a large base of students that have learned social media from me, I often refer the business that I don't. So I get to really live that particular value that we talked about. And I did a lot of this while traveling with my laptop. Since 2017, I have visited 30 countries around the world. So, it's not like I was always on vacation. Sometimes I say it's like I'm never on vacation, but I am also always, right? So I've been to, I saw someone from Croatia and Bulgaria and Germany, and I've been to a lot in South America and all of that. And so that is a life experience that, thanks to my laptop and an internet connection and some skills and confidence to sell them, that I've gotten to live a very uncommon life that I'm very proud of, because it is a life that I want. It was something I really wanted to do. Now, Jason is going to talk to you about his amazing stats because he has built a really incredible agency. But I wanted to share with you the perspective of just like a single, female solopreneur with a keyboard and a Twitter account, that my agency over the last 5 years and projected, this is projected for the last 5 years. If I project to the end of this year, we'll have earned over $1.3 million. And the beauty of that is as a solopreneur, I do have a team and contractors that work with me, and of course, business expenses and all of that. But it's a very low cost product. I sell a lot of time and I sell a lot of expertise and I sell a lot of services and pixels and this and that, right? So the profit margins are really healthy. And so other dreams that I've been able to accomplish is buying this beautiful condo here. You see a picture from my rooftop in Playa del Carmen, which is a dream come true for myself. I also have been able to support my family, right? So I've helped my sister and my mom. And just recently I purchased, or I'm in the process, I'll be closing in a couple of weeks on buying a home for my dad to retire a couple hours there away from Jason. So these are things that the 20-year-old, 23-year-old ballet teacher and had no idea that the internet was going to help me build a life and build a very moderate net worth for myself and my family, but it is something that I'm very proud of, and it's very sustainable for myself. And so this is why my model is a small number of clients that I go very deep with, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But on the other hand, if you have bigger goals and dreams than me, right? If you just don't want to be backpacking around Europe with your laptop, and buying a condo in Mexico like me, then that's why the opportunity to partner with Jason, who has built some incredible things with his business. So Jason, let's talk about your model of the agency world.
So mine's a little different, and it's kind of a matter of necessity because
we both started online at the same time, by the way. And we both were in the same community with a lot of the same information and skills, but we just kind of took different paths. So sorry, I wanted to mention that. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I was promoting Kate's course, Let's Get Social. I ended up being a super affiliate for that. In fact, I won a leaderboard. So I got a $5,000 gift certificate for Tiffany's, and I used that to then go buy Chelsea's engagement ring. So
you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So
Chelsea, you're welcome.
It all comes full circle, right? So mine is a little different. I grew up in Erie, Pennsylvania. I fell in love with the internet. I started blogging. I realized that I needed to start making money blogging, in order to pay for traffic and those kinds of things. So I started into affiliate marketing, landed in Kate's world when I was promoting affiliate products. And then about 10 years ago, I started working with clients. So we ended up, so doneforyou.com is our site. So doneforyou.com, I bought the domain name probably 7 years ago or so. We do about 4 million a year, 3.9 million a year in revenue. The most we ever had was 164 active clients at the same time. So, right. So it's a very different model, right? 164, that's 164 businesses with 164 bosses, 164 marketing plans, 164 ad accounts, 164 plus websites. That's a lot, right? So, and in that, we ended up growing to 6 project managers, a support team, a COO, a CFO, all of it, right? So, and it was 2 things. One, to manage the growth, because Done For You, through COVID, I published hundreds of blog posts and videos. So I couldn't even shut off the traffic now if I wanted to. So, the traffic that is coming into the website, and we get hundreds of people applying to work with Done For You. And we only really anymore select a small group of people that we're going to work with. So I've been able to, using social media and using content and all of the internet marketing things, build a sustainable flow of clients that are coming in. And one of the reasons why we are teaching agency stuff is because, spoiler alert, we have lots of clients that we want to send your way eventually. So, but in order to do that, we need to know that, you are really good at what you do. You provide, you do work, you show up and you make clients happy and all that other stuff. But anyway, so we grew Done For You to a pretty big number. I'm really terrible at operations. So I hate anything that is HR, COO stuff. Kate is an operational ninja and me not so much, right? So the project managers and the COO and the CFO is mostly because I'm a visionary. And when somebody comes in and they're like, I have this great idea for a business, I'm already 6 steps ahead and I've already built half of it. So, that's just my makeup. In a past life, this was 18 years ago, I was a Pepsi truck driver who was too smart to go to college and decided that I didn't want to work so hard my entire life. So basically, went back to school. I'm a get you done guy. My superpowers are creating content, building systems in sales funnels, understanding psychology, what makes people buy in a very mass way, and then also seeing stories and data. So I can look at, a flow from an ad campaign and know exactly where the hole is, just because I understand client avatars, I understand people, I understand copy. I've written tens of thousands of emails in my life. So that's where I have been for the last 10 years or so. So merchant wise, $3.35 million going through one merchant account, is where we were at the peak. Average spend per customer is $19,323. So on average, when a new client signs up, they are worth $19,323 to us. So and our packages are usually $2,500 to upwards of $15,000 a month now, depending on kind of what they're buying. Our customers, so this is just a screenshot of kind of historical customers. In the last year, we have 8 clients that have paid us over $100,000, and a lot more that have paid us over,
Wow.
between 20 and 100,000. So
Mm-hmm.
lots of 5 and 6 figure clients. So the stuff that we're going to show you is really meant to help you get those clients in the door, support those clients, and make them happy and loving and, raving about you. So let's see. Okay. So we're going to start talking about building an agency, or starting an agency, growing an agency. So there are 5 key challenges that I had really, really early on. So I wanted to talk about those and give you some strategies for those 5 things. The first is finding your first prospects. Some of you have agencies. Some of you are just getting started. There was a lot of 1s, a lot of 2s. Another one was handling sales conversations. So actually having that conversation with people. 3 was pricing your services, because almost everybody underprices their stuff. Yep. 4 was overcoming the no experience hurdle, which is a big one when you're starting out or when you don't have a lot of kind of public clients. And the one thing I found is that when a business finds a really good agency, they don't refer you typically, because they're afraid that if they refer you, you're not going to have the capacity to perform at the same level for them and also take on another client. So there's a problem there.
Yeah. And in my model, sometimes that's even part of the contract negotiations, as to what, if I can work in the same industry.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That try to work in some non-competes. And I even have one client that actively deterred me from taking on a client in other, industries. And that's one of the real challenges that potentially comes with my model. Yep. Versus yours is a little bit different, but
yeah. So we don't rely on referrals are bonus to us. Referrals are extra. So what we did was we married.
Referrals are the only way I survive.
Right.
So it's so nice that you guys get 2 perspectives. I'm over here. If I didn't have referrals, I would be working.
So finding your first prospects. We have a really cool, really easy, super easy strategy. Every time we have done this, it's worked. I actually just saw somebody else do it in a coaching mastermind, and it was the whole room got filled up with clients too. It's really, really simple. For those of you, so in the chat, how many of you would like a client within the next 72 hours? In the chat. Yeah. Okay. All right. So there we go.
I could use one. I could always use a little extra. Yeah. I'm shopping. Always. I'm always open. Mark says yes. Taryn says yes. Pretty much everybody. Marie, 2 exclamation points. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this is what we call the warm client formula. Super, super easy. So basically, all you have to do, you want to leverage the social network that you have the most followers in, the most experience, whatever. And you use this message or something like it. I'm looking to help a few people get online and grow their business with blank. And that blank is whatever it is, chatbots, AI, digital marketing, Facebook, whatever. Who do you know? Question mark. And just let it sit. So what's going to happen is you're going to get 3 or 4 people, depending on your followings, but you're going to get a couple of people who are going to raise their hand and say, yes, I have that exact problem right now. Can you help? And then you're going to have 3 or 4 people who are going to say, yes, my friend has that exact problem. And then they tag them inside the comments. Now, what you have to do is you then open up your private message, your DM in Facebook, and you message every single one of those people and you get them to agree to a call on their calendar. So when are you available in the next couple of days? You schedule it, you send them a calendar invite, very virtual assistant kind of, send them a calendar invite, put a Zoom link in that calendar invite, and show up when you say you're going to show up and talk to them. Book calls directly through those DMs. It works in Facebook, it works in LinkedIn, it works in Instagram. It sounds overly simplistic. It sounds super, super simple. I mean, I work in big sales funnels and systems and paid ads and all of that stuff, but you never, ever know who is looking for what you do until you ask.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very simple way of grabbing a couple clients, having a couple sales conversations.
One of my students used this and got her very first, client on her very first day. I know people have probably tried, similar techniques, but if you haven't in a while, sometimes you see people get kind of specialized with this. I'm looking to help 2 to 3 people this month. Or if you have an existing agency, I have an opening for one more, for one more person who needs help with this. There's a couple of different ways to kind of frame this particular strategy. I think one of the important things to note is the formatting of it, where it is using the colored background. This isn't just a regular status update, not where you're attaching an image or whatever to it. Like that the actual presentation of the post is really important.
Yep. And Nitin says, this has never worked on my existing community. I have seen many of them spamming the groups with such posts. You are 100% right. This isn't a group strategy. This is meant to put to your own personal feed once a month, once every 2 months, maybe. This isn't like a scale to 100 clients using this. This is, how do I get my next 1 or 2 or 3 clients? How do I start having those conversations? Because it will never scale, like there's only so many people, who are in your, only so many people who you interact with from a social standpoint. So you can't pick up more than 3, 4, 5 clients this way, but 3, 4, 5 clients at $2,000 a month, that's $6,000.
Yeah. And you can't do this. Don't do this every month either. This is is like a launch thing or once a quarter thing or something like that. Because if you're constantly doing this, then it's not a good look. So that was why it's a warm client.
Yep.
It's also a first client formula.
Yep.
But if you do it repetitively, what it says to people is that you're not retaining your clients. So you're constantly needing them, even if that's not true and you're trying to scale.
Yep.
So this is something to use very strategically.
Yeah. And we like our typical client generation model is a lead magnet. So I actually just wrote on my board earlier. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't read it. No, it's not going to follow me. But so the Procrastinator's Guide to Black Friday. So I was like, well, shit, Black Friday is right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Yeah.
Right around the corner. I can whip that thing up in AI. I can get it put up nice and pretty, give it away on Facebook, spend a couple grand on ads. Then on the thank you page, the confirmation page, I just have a little video that says, hey, you're already behind the ball. Like you have, 7 things in this guide that you're able to implement on your own. But if you would like us to do that for you, then just click the button below and schedule a call with me. Super nice, simple, specific campaign. so that is something that we could scale with until Black Friday.
That's great. And so I see like people saying that they've seen this. Remember, you are in the marketing industry and you see other people doing it. So, hopefully you've also built a network of not just other marketing professionals, but you do have potential leads or prospects. And what Jason is saying is even better because he's super niche down. I'm looking to help a few people with their Black Friday, right? If you're feeling it's right around the corner. If you're feeling behind the curve or you don't have your Black Friday promotions set up, or someone who may need help with this, like, let's get the conversation.
It's actually way better than asking them like that Black Friday thing. That's going to get people come. You're
right. Yeah, no, that is hitting an emotional trigger of panic in me, even when you just said it. And I literally just went, oh shit. My Black Friday, my client's Black Friday, right. And so if Jason has a little Black Friday promo.
Well, literally, I wrote it on the board this morning. So
guidebook.
I wrote it on the board, Procrastinator's Guide to Black Friday.
How about this? Let's test it out right here. Raise your hand in the chat if you would like access to Jason's guide to Black Friday promotions. Right. So I hear the point of people saying like that this can potentially be overplayed or can have a negative stigma, but it's not about copy.
Literally everybody is
using the tactic, right?
Okay. I'll write the Black Friday guide and I'll send it out to everybody.
Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to cause that, but I just wanted to use it to demonstrate a point that while the tactic itself this is the problem, is that when people learn a tactic and then they implement it, if you don't do the extra thinking on top to make it specific to your audience, make it actionable, to have this emotional, oh shit response that people are responding to, yes, this could fall into that category. I've seen it as well. I know when someone posts it that there's something there to it. But the way we just showed in the example is we did it in a way that hits an emotional trigger and got a response. Too bad this isn't a Facebook post for you, Jason. Then on top of that, right, because it's getting engagement from his warm audience, now it's getting shown in the algorithm in the feed for cold audience as well. So these 5 or 10 or these 10 or 15 yeses that just came through from his warm are now triggering other people saying yes as well. So I just wanted to point that out as about, using a tactic that a lot of people use is you just have to be super creative.
Yep. Great point. So thing number 2, sales calls. Something super.
Sorry. So I'm sorry. So to make the leap to the sales call, right? You guys if this were Facebook and you just all said yes, what Jason said is that you actually DM them. He would DM the book or the deliverable and say, hey, if you want to hop on a call and talk about it or go over it, I'm happy to give you point you in the right direction or help or tips or whatever. And then that gets them on a sales call with him to talk about their Black Friday promo. Right. And so that is the strategy. And that takes us to now we're on the next slide on the sales call.
Yeah. So in the chat, I'm just going to drop my link. None of you have to book a call with me, but
but I'm using that as the example
to
remind them that those yeses that just came in, this is where you move to the DM.
Yep.
And you might want to reply to their comment and say, hey, it's in your inbox. And yes, be careful depending on how many you get that there's an algorithm that will bump you for too many DMs or too many, in a short period of time. So bear that in mind. But So you make the post, you get the engagement, you move to DM, and now we are on the phone.
Yep. So I use a shortened link. So book at doneforyou.com/Jason. It does 2 things. It basically says that they are going to be booking a call with me. And because Jason, they're talking to Jason. And it also puts doneforyou.com in there. So they can go to the website and actually kind of take a look
This
around.
is in the DM. You've given them the book or the deliverable or whatever,
Yep.
and now you're saying, if I can help you, click here, and this is what your page
Scheduling link is. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and they're able to go, so they're able to go schedule a call with me. So it gives them more information than just, hey, go book on my calendar. It's like there's a whole unwritten thing that goes on there. So make sure your website looks good, and then use a shortened link, and then send it to Calendly or wherever you're booking call. Now they're on the phone. So I love this quote. It's by Roy H. Williams, the Wizard of Ads. So the most irresistible word in the English language has only 3 letters. The most powerful of all words is you. You engages the imagination of the listener. It puts the action of your spot in present tense active. Skillful use of the word you makes the listener a participant in your ad and also in your sales call. So the sales call is all about them. It's not about you. It's like you. It's not about me when I'm on a sales call. It's all about them and their business and their priorities and what they are doing next, or what they want to be doing next. So there's a framework that we use, and you're going to see a screenshot of a sales script on the right. The sales script is really pretty freaking easy. So the first thing you want to do is break the ice. Just start chatting a little bit. How's the weather where you are? Where do you live? Are you working from home or the office today? I usually do something that's location based, because for the last 3 years we've taken road trips. So I've been pretty much everywhere in the country, at least. So if I get somebody on the phone and they're from Denver, Colorado, I'm like, oh my God, I ate at this pizza place called Bojo's. It was literally life changing. And they're like, yeah, it's a mile away from my office. I'm like, oh my God, like, how are you not 400 pounds? Because I would be getting lunch there every single day. That's the first 2 minutes of the conversation. But you can do that with the weather. You can do it with kids. You can do it with, there's Star Wars stuff back here, so like all of that little stuff tells a little bit of a story. Then I asked them, minutes 3 through 5 is, so tell me about your business. Like, what's your big dream? If everything went perfectly, what would your ideal day look like? It depends on what you're talking about. But I usually start with, tell me about your business. And it doesn't matter how they filled out the survey leading up. I read all that stuff. I usually I pay attention, but a lot of times what they read is what they write, they think you want to hear, but the stuff that comes out of their mouth is the stuff that they actually care about. So tell me about your business. What have you done? What have you not done? What are some of your goals? So I hear that you have, 10 active clients that are, going through your coaching program, but you wanted to be 20 sold per month or something like that. So that means we have kind of a delta of 100% or 10 clients that we need to get through from a marketing standpoint. I already know how to do it, why they called me. I know all of that stuff just by asking questions. Mm-hmm. And that's the third point is you spot the gaps.
Yeah.
So you're able to see where they are, where they want to go, and do you have the capability to help them in the middle there?
That's key. I want to point that out, is like, while you're asking questions and getting to know their business, those are the 2 things that you are really looking for, is where do they want to be? And where are they now? And what do they think? If they know where they want to be and they're not there yet, what do they think is the reason, the real reason? Is it, is it budget? Is it lack of knowledge or expertise? Like, what is it that, if I know I want to be at 20 paid clients a month or whatever, and I'm only at 10, what are the reasons I haven't gotten there already? What have I done maybe that has worked? What have I done that hasn't worked? But ideally, that gap is the opportunity. And then kind of the second thing that Jason kind of mentioned is then you're mapping that onto your experience, your expertise, your history is, if you're marketing to your ideal client in general, you have the map. Yep. You've done it before. They're telling you the A to Z. They're at A, they want to be at Z. you are the B to Y. You're going to be the one that's going to take them from where they are to where they want to go. So once you have that, they've created that picture, they've helped create the delta. They're aware of the gap, and you are sure this is a time where if I don't think I can fulfill it, I maybe make a referral. I pass business to Jason a lot for running paid traffic type stuff. But, you know, if I'm confident that I have the roadmap, I have the map to the gold mine, then we can move into the next, you know, part of the conversation.
100%. And the next part of the conversation is where you're starting to talk about goals. So I take notes on every single one of our clients in my little Monsters Incorporated journal here. So, I reference those, so I scan them in, and then I know, because what happens for us? We go through one call, and it's an exploratory call. We send a proposal. Then we go into the second call, and the second call is a Q&A call, basically. So we might firm up some action steps in a proposal or whatever. So they have some questions, you know, about what it is that's in the proposal, answer those, and then we move into onboarding. So it's typically a 3-step kind of boom, boom, boom. Those notes and the goals and the things that I write down that you talk about in this call, they come back up. So, you know, you're in your onboarding, you're a month or 2 months in the project, and the client's like, well, you said that I could, you know, get 60 paid clients on $20 in ad spend. The fuck I did. No, I did not. You know, so those notes turn into something that is really valuable for you. But nailing down the deadlines or nailing down the goals is where you're able to then start going backwards. And so if they know where they want to be in a year, you're like, okay, where do you want to be in 6 months, and then 3 months, and then where do you want to be next week? And that's where all of that stuff, you know, starts to make a lot more sense. Then you want to describe how you can help. Every client is different. Well, I shouldn't say that. Very few clients are different, but you have to make every client feel different. So like there's usually certain processes, like social media, content marketing, paid ads. There's a certain system that you can put in place, but every client needs to feel like that client is or that system is special to them. So, and this is where you really start to describe that. It's like, well, okay, so you want to double the number of clients in your coaching program. I get it. In order to do that, what we need to do is we need to set up a Facebook and Instagram ads, and they need to go into a lead magnet and into a webinar or something. You know, so the more you can help them see that, and it can be visual. Most of these calls happen on Zoom, which is really nice because I start pulling up other clients and other projects and other websites. It doesn't have to be a client. This can be your own work. You know, and say, well, you know, I just launched this thing here that sounds like it would be beneficial to you, and they're going to gravitate to that kind of stuff. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be a client. One of Kate's favorite strategies is first couple clients you work with, just, you know, perform the services, but use it as a case study. You know, so then that case study is then going to be able to get you extra money on the next client. So you can do some of that stuff. And then we talk about money and the next steps. When you have a client on the hook from a sales standpoint, they're going to hit that hour, the 50-minute mark, or I've kind of shortened sales calls to 30 minutes. So they get to 20, 25 minutes and they're like, okay, what are the next steps? And if they're asking you that, then you're in a really good spot. You know, for me, I tell them verbally, well, most of our projects are X, you know, like this is kind of the classification. So this particular client or this particular project is a $9,500 a month client or $9,500 a month project. It's a 3-month minimum agreement. In that 3 months, we're going to build the sales funnel in month 1. We're going to test ads in month 2. And we're going to start scaling in month 3. Would you like me to send a proposal? And they always say yes. I have never had anyone say no. But the proposal then goes, it's a templated proposal, and that goes out. So
And mine is a little bit different, but one thing that Jason and I both do in common is we do say the price upfront on the call. I'm not afraid to say the price that I want, and I'm not afraid if the client says no. I don't care if they say no. I'd rather get that out of the way at that point in time rather than a lengthy back and forth negotiation where even the time to duplicate the proposal and put the price and send it. Like, I would rather just get that. If it's too much for them, let's understand that now and get that out of the way as quickly as possible. So I do an audit or a strategy first, and it's $5,000. If that's already uncomfortable for them, then working with me after the strategy is definitely going to be, uncomfortable. But that's the time where, of course, in my model, I have the opportunity to pass through people who go through my programs or, that I know that have an agency, et cetera. Yep. But I love that Jason and I do the same thing. The next steps, here's the thing. Here's the price. And do you want to take the next steps with me or not? And it just saves some of you guys are afraid. You don't like saying money. You don't like using, talking about financial stuff. And so you'd rather hide behind the proposal or a document or an email and send it. But just think of all of the time, 30 minutes here, 10 minutes here, an hour there, whatever, wasted over the course of a career by not just, hey, this is business. This is the cost of doing business, with me. And if it doesn't work for you, let me suggest some other alternatives or directions or place that you can go. And so, Jason hasn't had anybody say no. I've had a few people say no because it has been a progression for me. I literally started out charging $250 a month. I think I even had a $150 a month client for Twitter services at one point in time. So getting from there to here has been a growth experience. And I will also say that every time I have not done that, and every time I have discounted in recent years anyway, discounted or backtracked or been afraid of the money conversation or anything, it always comes back to bite me and I regret it later. Yep. So I highly recommend you guys get as comfortable as you can. Save yourself as much time, heartache, energy, emails, whatever with clients that are not ready, cannot afford your services. So to have this conversation up front before you get off the first call.
Yep. The couple things I used to be afraid of saying money. I will never have a price that ends in thousands. So notice I even said 9,500. 9,500 seems like a lot smaller of a number than $9,500. So the only change is when we're doing like 10,000, 15,000 a month. It's a big enough number. You can't get around that. So 9,500, 4,900, 7,500. Those are typically like the sweet spots for our prices from a verbal standpoint. I am with Kate. I think you need to say the price on the phone. I have had people say no, or talk about the price. And then I usually come back with, I had one client, about 2 or 3 months ago. He's like, I'm not paying you $9,500 a month. I have a team that'll do that. And I was like, your team can't do this. So like your team is a consumer centric. You're going after a business, a B2B centric avatar. Like it's totally, totally different. So, yeah, it's all good. So cool. Any questions on the pricing thing? Sales call. Unfortunately, reps is the only thing that makes this better. Like actually having these conversations, planning on the first 3 calls, kind of just sucking. I've worked with so many people and the first 3 calls typically suck, and then you get into a groove. Even when I launch a new product, a new thing or a new project or a new even service for Done For You, like for the agency, getting those words to come out of your mouth, it takes a couple times, to go in. Mark says, if you have no case studies, I notice people don't want to work with me. Okay, well, so that's the module after pricing. We're gonna talk about a couple little hacks there. All right, so high value offer framework. So what Kate just described, selling $150, $250 a month services. I think the lowest, so there was a time where we were selling $500 per month things to franchises and whatever. That shit gets so overpowering, and you're running ragged for no money, so it doesn't matter how many of them you sell. Like it's really, really hard to get any kind of profitability out of that. So like we don't sell anything that's under $2,500 a month. Like it doesn't even begin to make sense with benefits from 401k and people and team and all that stuff. But even if you don't have that stuff, I still wouldn't sell anything below $2,500 a month, because it's just not going to make a difference. Like if you can work with 3 of the right clients, why would you want 10 $500 a month clients? It's 10 times more work. So in the higher end clients, they're the ones who are going to treat you like a partner and not a vendor. The $500 people are going to be, you're a vendor 100% all the way. So, so in putting your pricing together for your offer, you want to be crystal clear on really what success looks like for your client. What's their big, hairy, audacious goal? We already talked about it. We already wrote it down in our notebook. And really you want to turn those obstacles into opportunities. And so look at what's standing in their way. They're not necessarily problems. They're your chance to really kind of swoop in and save the day. So if you see a problem on a website, or you see something they're doing wrong on Facebook, bring it to their attention and be like, well, if we were to do X, then you would get this like incremental improvement. There are a lot of times people like apply to work with Done For You, and I'll send them an email and say, well, your website is nice. You tell me you're trying to sell a product, but I don't see your product listed anywhere on your website, like not a sales page, not a webinar. There's no way that I can actually give you money right now. And they're like, well, it's because it's a Facebook ad, and it goes into a specialty funnel, and that specialty funnel's in Kajabi. I'm like, but what if somebody comes back, they think of you a week later, and they're like, well, I'm just going to go back to that person's website, and then there's nothing there. Like, then it's little stuff, and you don't really know, like, unless you're they don't see it because they're in the weeds. You see it because you're standing outside, and that is where your value comes in. And really, like social media management, you're not selling social media management. You're selling 50% increase in qualified leads through our proven social strategy, through our system. It's not, we're going to do social media for you. We're going to be giving you more of the result that you want because we're executing our system on your behalf.
Exactly. Yeah. And your system is what they are paying for. Remember, it's your system. It's not the only system. It's not, there's so many ways to do something. So when I'm speaking with them, there's a way that the value is in my proprietary system that I've learned, practiced, developed, over time. And that is what they're paying for. And that is not the thing to blurt out all the steps on your discovery call about how you do that. That is the secret sauce, right? That is what they are paying for you to install that system, which will produce the XYZ, result. I just had this conversation in email yesterday with a client because they're trying to lower their CPA by using organic marketing. And I have an existing client where the CPA is 75% lower when we do the net CPA across all sources of traffic, not just our, instead of just our, from our paid, we can drop it with organic. So I'm able to use that as a test, social proof, case study, whatever. But I also have to remind them that this is a system and a process that this particular client started on even way before me, right? Mm-hmm. There's several places that they receive traffic. There's several things that they do. So, right, like we can go after and get this result, but I'm already pre-framing that it's going to take time.
Yep.
And it's more than even just, social media. It's email and affiliates and SEO to blog posts and all of these different, in conjunction with their paid and in conjunction with social media that produces that particular, result. So in that little 2-minute thing, that is what the client is purchasing. They want that screenshot of the $600 CPA that turned to $125 CPA. That's what they're, and the steps to get there that are here that they're purchasing.
Yep. Makes total sense.
We're investing in.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, you show them the money, it's where we as agencies, as freelancers, as service providers are directly impacting their bottom line. And because of that, we don't charge hourly. We're delivering value for their business, and that value has, it's increased revenue, it's increased profitability, it's lowered churn, it's lowered refund rates. You're selling transformation to their business. You're selling a thing that has been elusive to them, that has more value than just social media marketing or blogging. So and what I tell a lot of clients is, like, you could go hire a blogger. You can hire a paid ads person out of college. They're still going to cost you $4,000 a month, and they're going to be a tenth as good as we are, because we literally manage millions of dollars in ad spend. So it's just one of those things, like you just set the expectation a little bit differently. We're able to instantly go in and start looking at your ads. We require next to zero onboarding time. Like, do you want that result now, or do you want that result in 6 months when that college graduate is finally up to speed? They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. People there's two major resources that, in business, right? Well, there's more than that, but there's time, money, there's human resources in terms of capacity and man hours. And then there is capacity in terms of knowledge, right? Yep. So does a business have more, when you're starting out, like for you guys marketing your own business, or me, like when I got started, I had more time than I did money. Yep. So doing my own marketing or saving money and all of that was important at that time, because I needed to leverage the resource that I had a lot of, which was time, and to get more of the resources that I didn't have a lot of, which was money. But usually when you're talking to a client, they need almost all of the things that I just mentioned. They need the expertise. They probably don't have the capacity on their team. It's not like they have a person hanging out that has time to be doing their social media, but if only they knew what to do. Yep. That does happen sometimes, but they either need the expertise, they need the extra man, hours, they need to make more money, and then them personally, they need, more time. So that leverages into that capacity. So hopefully you're talking to clients that are willing to solve problems with money. Yep. They have the resource of money that they can put towards solving the problems that will then bring them more money. And so this is why in the beginning, like I said, when you're talking more as a consultant, as a partner, this is not something like tasks that need to be done, like their taxes, like this is an expense and you don't, see a return on it. This language and this way of positioning your services is what is positioning you as an investment so that they get a return. Sometimes it is just the task base of the owner getting a return on their time, in conjunction with, we all know as CEOs that we're not the end all be all of every single thing in business. So if I can leverage money and get some of my time back, plus get the expertise on board by hiring Jason to run my ads instead of me having to figure it out, or paying less, but paying someone to learn on the job, that might be a good thing in some cases. Some of you that need to get clients, that is the benefit, is that they get to pay less, but they know that they're paying someone to kind of gain experience while doing the service. So I'm saying a lot of stuff here, and I know we're super late on time, but these are just concepts that, like, the more they become clear to you in your head when you're talking to somebody, like Jason said, one of those things you're listening for is, where are they overwhelmed? Do they have time? Do they need the expertise? Is it that they're at capacity and they need to hire another body? Do they have plenty of money and cash to throw at this? Are they spending money on something that they can divert here? There's all of these different things that you are thinking about. And it is like one big algorithm in your head at the end where it's like, yes, now if you put 10K a month into my services, I can promise X output. So anyways, these are just some things that you guys, as you start to up level and you stop thinking about just selling a service, you're thinking about this is me being more of a business consultant for the person to think about their staff and their budgets and their projections and blah, 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 blah. Anyways. Okay. Go ahead.
And that's an important distinction. The more you think about yourself as a consultant and a partner to them, the more value you have. If you walk in as just a Facebook ad person or social media manager, and like, all I do is social media management, you're in a box, there's a certain value to that box. But when you pick your head up and you're like, well, social media impacts content marketing, which impacts lead generation, and you have a lead problem, maybe what I do here can help you solve that.
Yeah.
Then it's like you have infinitely more value.
It's one of those things that changes your perspective on the sales calls. I always say, like, let's hop on a call and let me see if I can help you or point you in the right direction. So I put on the avatar of helpful internet girl, where I'm not even necessarily thinking about selling them on anything. I just want to help them figure out what their problem is and how to solve it. And a lot of times it just happens to work out for me that I'm the one that can actually help them solve it. Sometimes I'm not, but just taking that perspective for me took the pressure off of it being a sales call and more of, how can I help you figure out what your problem is? And also let me help you figure out what's the best solution, which, again, like Jason's saying, oftentimes points back to us being able to help them. But when you take that other perspective, then also they refer more, for me, they refer more business that way because they want to get their friend or their other business contact on the phone so I can help them sort out potentially what their problem, might be. And so it's a really great way to position yourself if you're a person that does consulting.
Yeah. And so when you don't have experience, and that was always a thing early on, right? Well, what have you worked on in the past? Well, now when somebody asks me to send them referrals, I tell them no. Like, you either are going to watch my videos and know that I know what I'm talking about, or you're not. But I'm not going to burn up my clients' time so that you can have a chit chat with them. I might send you a couple of websites that we've done, and you can click around and figure out if you like it or you don't. But we designed to their specifications, so even that doesn't necessarily help you a whole lot. So, and that was, so when you're overcoming that experience thing, the single greatest thing that I have ever done is create the content for Done For You that we did. So the YouTube videos, the blog posts, the social media posts, and your stuff needs to be dialed in. So if they hit a link, on your website that is broken, that's a really bad look, unless you just don't care, so, but your marketing has to be dialed in like they want their marketing to be. So somebody will come in and say, hey, I want a lead magnet exactly like this. I just received this. I want a lead magnet like this for my industry. I want that email sequence. And I want a webinar that was just like this, like your stuff. Okay, cool. I can do that, so you are, in a lot of ways, your own best marketing, your own best advertising. So
if I had a time machine, I can really impress upon you guys, and it's not too late. That's the other thing I get from people. It's too late. There's so much content, blah, blah, blah. The answer is no, it's not. But if I did have a time, if it was, but it's not, I could go back and change. This is the number one single thing that I think that like I always in my model is challenging because I'm so in depth with clients and feel like I'm always there. But the one thing that Jason has done that I wish I would have done, I can only imagine what a 10 years of podcasting, 10 years of YouTubing, or 10 years of blogging would have me at this point. What it has Jason is a faucet of leads to the tune of hundreds per week that he cannot turn off. Even if he wanted to, he would have to shut down his website basically and send them to a 404 page. But his content over time has saturated. He did it very strategically. It's very dialed in. He made a lot of smart moves. It's not just chat GPT content ideas, give me a script kind of thing. But for the keywords that he wanted to rank for, done for you being the most brilliant move that, he made. And these opportunities still do exist, right?
Yeah.
So if you are in it for the long game and you really want to build your agency, having organic search on YouTube, on your blog, on a podcast, on your social media, you cannot skip this step. And the building of authority over time with multiple posts. I think, Jason, you've got hundreds of ranked posts. When people are out there searching for services, like you can't not find Jason for marketing services. If you want a funnel built, if you want content, if you want paid traffic, like done for your business, you're not going to get to searching a lot of things where you're not going to find Jason. And this is how he's able to build the volume and have the sales calls and build that bigger agency. It hinges on a lot of things he's done well, but it starts with awareness and this tool for awareness. So to the person who said, if I don't have a lot of case studies, I'm not getting a lot of clients that want to work with me. Well, one way that Jason overcame that was saturating with content where he was teaching and explaining how these things work and showing examples from borrowing authority from other people who were ranking, who were doing these things, and positioning himself as an authority by virtue of his expertise, even when he didn't have a lot of case studies or client testimonials to go along with it. Okay, so.
Yeah, and none of the videos, I mean, our best video might have 1,200 views, like from 5 years ago. Like nothing has like lit the world on fire in terms of views. We just crossed 300 subscribers on YouTube, which is a really big deal. But people go and search stuff, and then they search YouTube, search Google. It shows up. They come over to the website. All of the content literally leads directly back to an application to work with us. So it's like all of it just zooms right in. And that's where like it's just a focal point of all of the content. So that's where people come from. So the next slide on this. So I did want to touch on this. So pricing structures. There's 3 pricing structures that we use. We use monthly retainers. We use large packages internally financed, and we use a performance plus a base rate. So those are, and this is for your mostly knowledge, because what this lets you do, the monthly retainers, $4,900 a month, $7,500 a month, whatever, it all has a term. So the term is usually a 3 months or a 6-month agreement, and then they're able to cancel after that. But if they don't cancel, then it continues on like a software subscription. So that's just how our stuff works, unless it's negotiated like some other way. But what it lets us do is, if we have, let's say a website is $30,000. Well, the website price is $30,000. You're going to pay 3 equal payments of $10,000 a month, and that website is going to be live for you in 3 months. Now, the reason I bring this up is because there's some different creative pricing strategies that you can use to increase that monthly retainer that you're able to provide. So the other one is performance plus base rate. So everybody and their brother is going to come in and say, well, you help me build my thing, and I'm going to give you 20% of it. Every single time, my answer is, but I can build my thing and keep 100% of it. So why would I invest my time, my team's time, resources, energy, thought into your thing if I'm delaying my payment at some point down the road? I'm also paying all my team during that time. Even if you don't have a team, then don't do that deal. Unless there's if there's an influencer with 1.2 million TikTok followers or something, maybe, like there are extenuating circumstances, but most of the people asking for that deal, they don't know how to make money. They're hoping that you do, and they're not investing anything in your time. So we a lot of times will do like $5,000 base plus 15% performance. When the 15% performance is more than the $5,000 base, the $5,000 base drops away. So we're always making at least $5,000 a month.
Yeah. Remember with these performance-based we've talked about, remember those 28 skill sets that Jason showed? Like doing well in all of those areas is what makes a great online business. So when I work in performance, it's because I can have an impact on all the areas of the business that matter. Like the example I gave you of the client I emailed the other day about how could we drop their CPA, I had to remind them in that email that they're hiring me for social media. In general, social media is about increasing the number of qualified leads to their business, right? Warm leads, which does in turn drop the CPA. However, when you have a lead, there's a nurture sequences that you have to do with your emails through content and promotions. That is what actually converts the lead. And that is what lowers the net CPA, not the actual, so social media is a part of an ecosystem that contributes to that. But the ultimate objective that we're going to be working on with social media is just the leads. It's going to be their responsibility. So like Jason's saying, if they're a really smart marketer and they're great in business, you have the opportunity to have clients like I do that are internet influencers and have big direct response businesses. This makes sense on that case, or that you do have the expertise and you have the influence in the business to contribute to the copywriting, to the design of the sales page, to whatever the lead magnet is going to be in the first place. But if you don't have influence or contribution on those areas, then taking a performance-based thing is exactly what Jason said. Somebody who doesn't have money now that's trying to put your services on layaway, hoping that something's going to, come through, and yet you don't have the actual influence on the areas of business that is needed. It's a recipe for disaster. Now, I see a lot of people more and more taking on more even performance only based stuff. This is, certain agencies are okay doing that, but it's because they have a specific avatar with a specific problem and a specific business model to match. Right? They're in the supplement space and it's a specific avatar and they sell a supplement and they know that in supplements, they know how to scale. And they've done it over and over, where I'm willing, the agency is willing to take the risk on behalf of the client's business to grow and scale. But like Jason says, kind of the middle ground here is a base plus some kind of performance incentive, or even just a bonus structure. Like if I hit my numbers, is there an incentive here where I will get, X number of dollars bonus for meeting my quarterly numbers that we agreed upon, X number of social media leads, X number of followers, X number of video views. If I accomplish those, can I be rewarded for those? And that is the best of both worlds in terms of performance, or in terms of pricing structure and compensation that you want to be striving towards.
That's awesome. So just a real quick temperature check. We're an hour and 35 minutes into this. In the chat, I know. In the chat box, are you enjoying this? Like, are you having fun? Are you learning lots?
There's a slight delay I noticed
Yeah,
last
there's a
time.
slight
So I'll fill the air by saying I'm having fun because I enjoy, like Jason, I don't know if you feel this way, but I made a lot of mistakes. I spent the first decade of my career making money, but also the feast or famine cycle. And so when things started to change for me, which really was at mid to late 2019, and why my agency has been so different ever since then over the last 5 years. I appreciate it. Like, it brings value to me of the first 10 years of my career to be able to teach all the stuff I did wrong and what changed for me that made it right. It's like all of that, all of I want to say, like all that suffering was not in vain, so to speak, that like I get to kind of pass it on. And so I'm hoping you guys are learning a lot. And yes, we are being verbose here and going a little long, but I really appreciate getting to give back the lessons that I've learned, and hopefully you guys really taking it and implementing it. Like, that's very fulfilling for me and for us to get to share this stuff with you guys. And sometimes even if it seems basic, and like, of course, like a lot of this you guys maybe know or have heard, but sometimes one of us saying it, this is the reason we partnered up, is one of us says it in a way that you haven't heard before and you hear it differently. I know my ballet teachers when I was growing up would get so mad because I'd come home from summer ballet camp in the summer and some new teacher would have told me something and all of a sudden it clicked for me. So sometimes just hearing it differently or from a different person with different experience, like, or hearing it for the 10th time, it finally lands in a way that you get it and you can implement it. So, anyways, I know now I've taken up too much of the
now we got lots of
yeses.
This is awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. So we have the niche section. So, and we thought this was important to throw in because there's a couple. So basically, to put this in black and white, when you specialize in a niche, you are the go-to expert in that space. So you're able to charge about 3 times more money for it. So, like us, we're really good in franchising. So, like, if a franchise comes in or a franchise development company comes in, I already know the language. I can literally talk to them and they're good, right? I have all the buzzwords and, some of the stuff that we've done in the franchising space in the past. Same with capital raise, so raising money for housing developments and funds and stuff like that. We have a lot of clients who raise a lot of money online, like very affluent investors. So I have all the words for that. Now, somebody I don't have words for is coming in, let's say a auto mechanic. I have no words for that person. I just don't know, right? So that's kind of like where having a specialty, it opens doors that you don't have access to otherwise. It lets you charge premium prices. It also lets you build repeatable systems. So we worked with a client. We rebuilt their website in the med spa space, and they ended up working with a couple of different agencies that were very specific to semaglutide. And they did, all the Facebook ads. They had their own go high level integrations. They had their own ads. Nothing of it was custom to our clients. Like, literally, it was the same kind of bikini model Facebook ad that gets ad accounts shut down. And I told them, you don't want to run this stuff. And sure enough, the Facebook ad account got shut down. And so but they had repeatable systems that they were able to use to save time. So the agencies, not saying to get into the semaglutide ads, but same with, some of those other things. Another one we've worked with in the past is auto dealer marketing company. So all they do is marketing for auto dealers, and it lets them charge extremely premium pricing, create one product as a package, and then basically sell 100 different auto dealers that same package month after month after month. So it's just something to think about when you're growing.
Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do this. People get hung up on this, but there are literally infinite niches. Like you just mentioned franchising. Okay, franchising in med spa. Okay, for it's a little bit like the repeating mandalas that just keep going. Like
Right.
another, it's the opportunities are endless here. For instance, one of my clients has built repeatable systems around producing a live event, a 2.5 day event online. Well, they've been doing that in the business opportunities like marketing space, but now they want to move into a new space. Like, let's even say I won't say what it is, but let's say it's health and fitness or whatever. Well, guess what? All of those systems, all of the tasks in the project management system, all the kickoff meetings, all the metric sheets, like while we're moving into a new vertical, all those systems and processes, what they're actually an expert in is the production of it on a 2 day, 3 day online event. Even so, it's like you think they teach business and marketing, but the actual systems that we could sell, like our CRM is set up and the triggers and the tags and the automations and the emails, that when you go to switch to a different vertical, now you're just changing copy and images and all of that, but you're using the same business model. Okay. So for you guys, again, going back to my favorite slide, which is the 28 skills that you can possibly sell, is you can become an expert in copywriting for social media, in video editing, in whatever. You can do that in the health and fitness space, or the business and marketing space, or the crafting space, or the gardening space. I mean, like, just right. So it's like you're taking a niche or vertical, you're taking a business model, and you're taking your skill set and you're marrying those together. And that is what makes you so specialized, that you only work with, and you have repeatable systems for, just like what Jason's saying. So this is why on Monday, you're not talking about gardening, and Tuesday, you're talking about, personal development, and Wednesday, you're talking about health and fitness, and you're over here on Twitter on this day, but then you're over here doing a podcast on this day and a YouTube video. That is where you guys go when and this can develop over time, right? And the more you notice what you enjoy, the clients that kind of get attracted to you, the systems that you build, you feel more confident talking to those people. So then you sell more of those. So then you become known, you create more content, like what Jason shared. Like, now I can create content for estheticians, or for cosmetologists, or for, blah, blah, blah. Like, it is something that it does, you do develop this over time, and these assets build on themselves, as long as you continue to stay focused and moving forward. And this is what allows you to charge, for people to charge higher and higher rates, is for the specialties and the experiences.
Yep. Very well said. Cool. So now, those are some of the biggest things that we worried about when we got started. But as we scaled, and I think that some of these things happened to me more than Kate, but scaling an agency requires a lot of things that we already talked about. It also requires a lot of things that we didn't, a lot of things that really suck, so there's client acquisition, which we talked about. That was kind of all up until right now, right? We talked about client acquisition and setting expectations, and we talked about some pricing strategies and some niche selection. What we didn't talk about was writing the proposals. We didn't talk about client onboarding, how to actually do a client onboarding, how to manage projects, how to hire team members, how to manage team members, how to retain a client so that they're paying you for not just 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, but 8 month, 9 month, 10 months. We didn't talk about scaling operations. We didn't talk about financial management. I mean, you do have to pay the IRS, unfortunately. So there are certain financial things that come with the game. Big one is legal. So I was late to the game from a lawyer standpoint. So I didn't get a lawyer to set up the company, and then you don't need a lawyer. Now I have a lawyer basically on retainer. So there's legal considerations that have to happen when you run an agency. There's sales techniques and time management and AI tools and software and all of those things, right? There's a lot of stuff required when you're growing an agency past a client or two. And there's some really bad things that mishandling this stuff can bring about. You could be sued if your marketing efforts inadvertently harm a client's business or reputation. I've been served papers that have said that. There's disgruntled. And to clarify, literally, we did every single thing we told them we were going to do. Their marketing was perfect. They had a German, Kennedy, who's our project manager, is on this call, and she can pipe in. But they had a German person who was a principal in their company, and I don't think he was either really bipolar or he could not understand English as well as we thought that he should be able to. He told the American partner that there was issues. Legal stuff ensues. They ended up dropping it. So it's like one of those things that, like, you can't write a worse story, but that stuff happens. It happens. Disgruntled employees, this has happened. Leave and take your clients with them. If you can't retain clients, you'll be stuck in a constant cycle of new client acquisition. So it's the feast or famine thing. Cash flow issues, hiring staff before you can pay them. Scope creep, really big one. Well, you said on one of our calls that you were going to include X. Well, there's a line in our proposal that literally says this signing this agreement is the last and final word upon any other, other than any other written documentation. Stuff like that. Like, how do you manage that? How do you manage the reputation damage? We had a client with 1.1 million TikTok followers.
Or avoid.
Or avoid, right. Is we had a client with 1.1 million TikTok followers. She basically held us hostage I had to refund a $25,000 payments for 3 months worth of work that I paid the whole team to work on her stuff. So literally, like, it was a net $40,000 loss. Because she was holding us hostage, and she was about to release the first of a 4-part video series about how we were gaslighting her the whole time. Come to find out, she has done this twice before to 2 other agencies.
Oh no.
So, like I said, it's stuff that you can't
make this stuff up.
You can't make this stuff up, right? And burnout, So some bad stuff. Bad stuff can happen if you're not necessarily prepared, or you don't have the right support system around you. Some other stuff: underpricing, over reliance on one client, mismanaging expectations, neglecting your own marketing, right? Because if you're working on their stuff, you still got to work on your stuff in order to get new clients. Ignoring industry changes, poor financial management, which we've talked about a couple times, but it's a big one.
Partnering with people, bad people. It's like I'm shaking my head on this one because these are all the mistakes, that I have made in the past too. That I was saying earlier, feels so good to be sharing about to help people avoid.
And that's the biggest thing. Like, I didn't have anybody. I mean, I had my lawyer for some of this stuff to go to. Your lawyer charges $425 an hour. So it's like, you can only cry on their shoulder for so much time, right? So luckily, you are here right now, and we have a solution that we think is going to help you grow and scale your agency. And this is your official invitation to it. So what Kate and I have put together is something that we're calling the Agency Accelerator. And it's a joint effort between the two of us, combining all of our decades worth of knowledge in the internet marketing space and handling clients and growing multi-million-dollar agencies, in our own little vertical to help you put together your perfect kind of hybrid model, something that you will be able to live a lifestyle that you are passionate about. You can live the beach lifestyle that Kate likes in Mexico, or we go to theme parks a lot, so like you could do the whole road trip theme park thing with us. It's really up to you. You can do none of it and just work all day. So
I know I kind of do with you. We check in on Fridays, so
We
I get
do.
to see
Yeah.
where in the world is Jason.
Yeah.
I'm the stationary one now. Jason is the traveler with the
Yeah,
family.
we have a 9-year-old, so we're off and away quite a bit. So we're going to give you a quick rundown of what's in it. There's a lot of slides to this, and we're at an hour and 50 minutes in. So I'm going to hit the high points, and kind of go through all of the main topics of modules, just to kind of give you an idea of a flavor of what's in there. Module 1 is mindset foundation work. So Kate and I both realized that most of what happens in our growth, in scaling our agencies and working with clients, happens between our ears. So the more work we do to plan and set goals and follow frameworks that allow us to get the most done in the day, all of that stuff has compounding effects to our agency. So in this module, what we did is we kind of split up the things that we split up the things that we're good at, and we give you the best of both worlds. And then we close with a module on direct response marketing and what you're able to do with it. Module 2 is where we get into your niche and your business. So Kate is recording modules on targeting on your ideal target audience, and nailing your niche. And I'm doing a lot of the brand identity setup, just because I tend to build very wide brands, with Done For You, with lots of content and lots of structure and lots of hub and spoke stuff. And then also the essential tools that are going to help you get it done faster. Because I am also a kind of a productivity ninja. So I try to, make sure that we're working with the right tools and the right software and right AI, so that we're not spending a bunch of time that we don't need to. Module 3 is financial planning and pricing, knowing your numbers, packaging your services, maximizing your profit, being able to upsell clients in calls, upselling, cross-selling, all of that kind of stuff. And so it's the money module, if you will. Module 4 is lead generation and prospecting. This is where Kate's model and my model kind of diverge. And even like in our kind of back end notes, I actually pulled them up here. I don't know if I can.
We talked about, I'm the extrovert, right? So I launched my business on a dime, by going to networking events, by meeting people, by building my network. I just went to the 16th anniversary of internet marketing party. Yep. And people know me, right? And that's partially because it's my personality. So it works for me. Whereas Jason, built his business kind of behind the scenes. He built a brand, doneforyou.com. It's not the Jason Drone show. And he built it by all the content so that you can find him online, and you don't need to search for his name, and right. And it has a funnel with a quiz, and is really beautifully well executed and very good for someone who is an introvert, right? Yep. So what you kind of get in these modules, like you're saying, where they diverge, is the best of both worlds, because it is true, like, going out, Jason, you are part of masterminds, and you do meet people by networking and being in these masterminds and going to events and meeting in person. It's just not the strategy that you have leaned heavily on and built your business on. Yep. And then I have a different one too, where, sure, have I gotten clients from a social media post that I made, or, some more long-term strategy? Yes. And that's where really the blending for you of taking the best of both worlds, or figuring out which one works better for you, using the best of both worlds. Because honestly, sometimes it does get exhausting going out. I jokingly say, like, it's time to, go tap dance. Yeah. How do we make money in my business? We send Kate out into the public. Yep. Yeah. It's energy and time. And like I said, Jason has built something that, I still built something. I can't stop the referrals from coming in. People think of services and they send me referrals. Jason has one as well. But, what kind of business do you want to build? And really what you want to have is both. That's what keeps the feast or famine cycle from happening, is when you have consistent leads coming in. So you have a system that you're following, whether that is just posting on social media, literally every single day, so that every single day people see you and they reach out to you and they book a call. That is one, system. And then there's others. So this one is fun because you get 2 modules in one.
Well, and there's a little hidden Easter egg in here too. So right there.
Oh yeah.
So implement our plug and play go high level funnels. So one of the bonuses that we're giving away is going to be a sub account, our funnels, our surveys, our disposition sequences, our email funnels. We have some lead magnets that you're going to be able to white label for your own stuff. So maybe the Procrastinator's Guide to Black Friday might be one of those lead magnets that you're able to white label. So it's going to help you generate more folks in your pipeline. And our sales funnels are really very they're simple. They're because 80% of our leads originally come from mobile. So, a simple landing page, white back, all that stuff. We're getting well deep into
simple, but very well executed, very strategically, very well executed. Jason, how many split tests have you run?
Oh my God. So the one landing page
and landing pages for this particular, just your main funnel, have you tested?
Our primary landing page, I've spent $120,000 on split tests alone. Like literally tested each and every pixel of that page, and it's the page that we use for a lot of our clients now. So it works, and it's something that's plug and play. Drop it in your Go High Level account, and you can deploy the survey and the emails and the sales pipelines, and we'll help you get all that set up. So more on that in a minute. So module 5, sales mastery. So man, it's in here again. Automated sales workflows. So right there, we tease it again right there. Go high level templates. So you're going to get our sales workflows and pipelines, and we're going to show you how to use them. And of course, we're going to train you on how to use those too. I have been recording every single one of my sales calls for the last 3 years. So I put together a 10 to 15 ones that I completely sucked and ones that I sold for lots of money. So you're going to be able to listen to those if you so choose. It's probably pretty boring, and it's very much like what we already talked about, but it's just having a conversation with somebody. And then,
sometimes hearing it over and over again, like we mentioned, is good. And my part, Jason actually volunteered to be my client.
Yes.
Since I have the same sales call every single time because I sell the strategy or the audit. And I walk you through that particular conversation, highlighting the do's and don'ts. And you get like a little mock sales call.
She made me do a mock sales presentation. When I worked at Pepsi, they tried to get me to do this, and I think I ran out of the room, and Kate was able to do it like live. So
I'm the only one, one who got them to do this. So yeah, but otherwise, I actually would love to hear a lot of Jason's calls. I think just hearing it from somebody else and you compare it. Some of those, you hear how he handles it, and you can amend and start working with some of those strategies on your own calls.
Yeah. And what I've lately been doing is taking those sales calls, piping them into AI, creating a project, and then building the onboarding decks and all of that stuff out of those. So lead magnet titles, webinar titles, like the whole thing. By the time we're even live with a client, like we already have a knowledge base of stuff based on the sales calls we already had, and we also don't miss any to-dos that I originally said a month ago or whatever before really knowing them. Module 6 is proposals and winning clients. So our proposal, like we've sold, I don't know, $12 million worth of services from our proposal. At first, it was kind of generic, and then after probably spending $30,000 in legal, which I've already referenced, it's pretty fucking bulletproof now. So to the point that one client, they canceled their disputes basically, because there was nothing to get around. So you're going to get that proposal. You're going to get, our contracts and some of the stuff that we're using to edit for your own stuff. So all the clauses, and you, of course, send it to your lawyer and make it yours and all of that. But you're able to use all of that we send it all in Go High Level again. So Go High Level is the document signing and all that. We have some case study things that we're gonna be sharing in this module, and then also how to gather testimonials, which I'm not nearly as good at as Kate is. So, but that's module 6. All right. Module 7 is client onboarding and management. Wow, we're already in module 7 and we're just talking about actually working with a client. That literally shows you how much operations and how much you need to do in order to output a great product. I mean, it's a 12 module course. We're halfway through the modules, and just now we are getting into onboarding and how to actually handle clients. In fact, like I told my team this, there's 3 things that a client leaves us for. There is performance, but performance is only the 3rd reason that they leave us. The first one is not getting something done that we say we're going to get done, not following through. The second one is not following through. So basically, if we don't get things done in the first couple of weeks and we don't start turning stuff around and we don't keep them actively engaged, they leave. Performance hardly ever comes into play because we're always testing, we're failing, we're winning on some things. And so it's similar to this, like the setup and running the agency. You want to, for the first couple of clients, you're going to move immediately into onboarding. But the way you structure and set up that proposal process and the onboarding process means they're going to stay with you for not months. They'll stay with you for years because you're able to map them out correctly. In the onboarding process, we actually talk about their first 12 months with us. So we actually put a plan together for the first 12 months. Why do we do that? So that they can see where we're going in 12 months. Because they already have 3 months in their head. You're like, if I don't like these guys, I'm out in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the folks who even make us just sign a 3-month contract, like we just had a call today. From the very beginning, it was 3-month contract. Today, he was like, and he just made his last payment, I think, over the weekend, his 3rd payment. And today he was like, how about you send me a proposal for that new thing we just talked about? You better damn well believe it's going to be the same retainer without a 3-month thing so we can continue working with them. We already proved ourselves, So onboarding is important. Service delivery and fulfillment. So project management, service execution. So the agency accelerator is not going to teach you how to do marketing. Not, we're not going to get into, this is how you create a social media, a content calendar for a client. And this is how you're going to do social media management. This is how you're going to send an email inside Infusionsoft. You can learn all that stuff. You can watch YouTube videos, you can buy specialized courses on that one particular discipline. This is going to basically teach you how to amplify your services and your revenue potential. Get clients in, make more, have them be happier with you so that they stay longer and you make more money, and you get more clients in. So that's the goal. Module 8 is all about service delivery and fulfillment. We're going to talk about SOPs, which Kate is way better at than I am.
I love SOPs. You should see my Loom account. And with AI, it actually, AI has changed my life in terms of SOPs because I love teaching and I love creating Loom videos or, recorded videos. So taking those and turning them into detailed SOPs for myself and my team, but also for my clients, as I'm turning those things, processes over to them or training is amazing, right? So you guys will get access to the content marketing SOPs that I have, and I'll show you how I've created them for clients. It provides tremendous value at the time that I might be wrapping up a contract or hiring. A lot of what I do sometimes is hire someone to work inside their business. Like I said, from somebody who may have done a course with me, like the Agency Accelerator. And so those SOPs are gold, and they're fun, right? They're fun to have around. So, and not fun really, but they're just great to use. it doesn't matter how many times I've done something, I always skip one little step,
Yep.
you just forget. So, or your team, it's like you can always have it to refer back to. So really what we've done here in Agency Accelerator is systematize, process, and productize the entire agency model to where what Jason said before, it doesn't matter if you're a copywriter, if you run paid traffic, if you do social media, if you're a graphic designer, video editor, funnel builder, website designer, SEO expert, whatever your service is, this is the amplify, scale, deliver model that you can wrap around it.
We send you, and we'll give you the sales funnels, the templates, the copy. In some cases, I mean, we have leads coming to us that we don't necessarily, they're great leads, but they don't fit our models. So that's the ulterior motive to this whole thing is, we want to be able to send you our work. So leads that come to us. That's literally what was kind of the impetus of the entire thing. Module 9 is reporting and client retention. So we want to make sure that you're reporting to your clients in the way that they want to be reported to. So this is very analytical. So we use 2 different ways: straight up spreadsheet reporting that's manually entered, and also pretty graphics, because people have different priorities. Some people like pretty graphics when the graphics kind of bounce when they open up a thing. Other people just want to see a spreadsheet. We do both. And also making sure to implement strategies for ongoing learning for them. Module 10, leveraging results and growth. So this is where you get into service partnerships. We actually just did a partnership Monday where we are going to be a white label provider for a financial planning agency. So basically we're getting our full rate, but they're going to just start stacking financial planners, up in our world. We're going to run ads for them. That could potentially be a $50,000 or $75,000 project with very minimal overhead. So that's an example of like a strategic partner. Franchising was actually, we got into franchising this way. We were handling 25 locations of the Drip Bar, which is an IV Drip Bar clinic, up until they grew past 25, and then they put it to a different agency. But so we've used these kinds of partnerships a lot in our growth. So we have an entire module about that.
And we have someone on that their agency model is partnering with other agencies in a white label capacity to deliver. So this module would be
perfect
for you if that is your model.
Yep. We have team building and scaling, which is hiring, outsourcing. So we hire more internally. So, employee 401k benefits. Kate does more outsourcing.
I've got my loose collective of people that I pull in on projects and hire as contractors. So again, we have different models here, but they both work depending on what your needs are.
Module 12 is agency flow and future growth. So it's admin, it's future proofing, it's insurance and risk management, and as CFO, financial stuff.
Looking at exiting, if you ever want to exit. I know Jason has some expertise here that I'm looking forward to learning.
Yep, exiting, insurance, some of it is really sexy and some of it is just terrible. But it's all important stuff, right? So you might go through the insurance module once, but maybe go through the exit module many times. Okay. Now, you are invited. So you can join the Agency Accelerator today. It is $1,997 for a one-time payment. So it's a 3-month program, 90 days. We have 12 weeks worth of content planned out. So you just saw, kind of how the modules are structured. You get a new module every week. We are also doing mastermind calls on top of that. You're getting Slack access on top of that. So you're able to jump in with Kate, myself, and my team to be able to answer any questions or troubleshoot or do whatever. So that's kind of an always on thing, the Slack access. We're doing office hours calls and the monthly masterminds. And if you would like, you can split it up into 3 payments of $797. All you have to do is go to donewithyou.com/agency agency, or to Kate's amazement, we added the QR code about 3 minutes before this webinar. So you can scan the QR code if you'd like it to. When you go to that page, you are going to see probably the recording of this. There's 2 buttons right underneath. One button is for the $19.97. The other button is for the 3 payments of $7.97 with order forms. Module 1 of the course is done. So as soon as you process payment, you are going to go to thank you page where you're going to be able to pick an onboarding call, or pick a time for an onboarding call. And it's not required, but Kate and I would love to meet you, talk about your agency, talk about, what you want to get out of the program so that we can make sure we can deliver. So that is there, but you get immediate access to the course too through your email. So that is all up and running. The fast action bonuses, and I've already alluded to this. So you are going to get our complete agency tech stack. So that includes the Go High Level CRM setup. That includes the done for you funnels, the proposal templates, the opportunity pipelines that we use, the disposition sequences for our sales funnel flow. So if somebody fills out a survey but doesn't book a call, somebody books a call but doesn't show up, somebody books a call but does show up, all of those workflows are already in there. You also get access to our lead magnets, and you can brand those however you'd like. We're going to send you the PDFs, but you can do whatever you like from a branding standpoint. We have quite a few lead magnets that you can use. We also have the funnels for those, the lead gen funnels. That's not an immediate thing. I think that's in week 4. We're going to be giving you access to the Go High Level stuff because we're going to be able to get in and help you troubleshoot and set some stuff up there. You also get exclusive insider webinars. So our plan is that we're going to be doing 3 of these webinars, 1 per month. We're doing monthly mastermind Q&As. So the webinars are more teaching based, more like this. The mastermind Q&As are just jumping on and just answering questions. So a little bit more like office hours. You're going to get Slack access for the agency owner community. You get all of our documents, SOPs. We have SOPs. They're nowhere as good as Kate's though. Plug and play funnels and ad campaigns, and then also the legal and accounting toolkit, which is going to be, proposals and some of our forecasts and our funnels. And basically, if it is awesome and we use it a lot, you're going to be getting access to it inside this agency accelerator. So
this is really awesome, you guys. So when we talk about being your own best client, we're talking about putting out your own content, sending it to your website where you can present the value to the client, get them to book a call with you, do a quiz where you gather the information that you need for the call. Like Jason, like he said, has done dozens, if not hundreds of split tests on his. He spent over $100,000 kind of dialing in how to get leads, how he's getting these leads, plus the content marketing that he's doing. And in High Level, if you're using High Level for your agency, it has the marketing side. It also has the sales pipeline and the CRM side. So basically, you'll be able to take snapshots of Jason's funnels, publish them to your website, use his lead magnets, put them in your own brand. Like I'm just re-saying this in a different way in case you didn't catch that.
Yeah.
And the CRM pipeline of how you track your calls. And did they say yes? Did they say maybe? Did they say no? What are the email follow-up sequences that automatically get triggered when somebody says those things? The onboarding inside, the invoicing.
Yep.
It's really amazing how he nurtures his list with content and also sells opportunities. So over the 12 weeks, we're going to walk you through all the modules. In addition, you are going to not just get the templates that you have to go away and build yourself. It's literally click a button and this page is on your site. You just have to edit it, make it your own, and it's available for you to start using for your own funnel. Yep. So this is really a phenomenal value. Again, we're going to be doing the webinars in teaching. We're going to have office hours open for questions and interacting. We have course content that we have already created for each week, and you will have Slack access because Jason and I both eat, sleep, breathe, live in Slack for all of our projects. So we'll be there. We'll see your messages when they come through, and we can hop in when it's convenient for us, and also so you don't have to wait. And you can also help answer each other's questions.
Yep.
So this is a really great opportunity. I'm excited. This is the program for me that I never had in all the time that I've been teaching how to start a business doing social media. This is the program I always wished that I had. And Jason, bringing his expertise and his knowledge, was able to really make this a reality for me, to be able to contribute to you guys in a really meaningful way. So we are offering a 30-day money back guarantee that Jason's going to tell you about as well. But I just really want to impress upon you what a great opportunity this would be if you're ready to kind of set some of these things up and get going with a more repeatable funnel system than you've had in your agency up until now.
Totally. 30-day money back guarantee. So if you jump in and you don't like it, you have 30 days to request a full refund. There's no questions asked. You just saw our numbers. Neither of us, obviously we care about the $2,000, but we wanted to make sure that you are happy and you're getting value from the accelerator. You're getting value, and we're able to help grow the agency long term, help you grow your agency long term. That's the benefit to us. The other benefit is that once we are able to start working with you, and once we know that we have a couple of people who are really good at Facebook ads, and a couple of people who are really good at social, and a couple of people who are really good at content marketing, and you guys say what you're going to do, then we can start sending you clients. Because one thing we desperately need is help. So we have clients that come to us every single day that we don't work with because they don't make sense for some reason, so it might be it's a space that we don't really play in too much. I have a big e-com client, a big e-com sales call next week. We don't do a ton of e-com, not like big Wayfair kind of store e-com. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the e-com we do is very, very niche, and they have 8 or 10 products. Think a luggage company. Like this big storefront, but maybe one of you do, so in that kind of a situation, we already know about you. We trust each other. We're good at working together. I just send you something in Slack. Kate does the same thing all the time. She sends her folks all the time. So 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't like it, let us know. We'll give you a refund. There's another just call to action. So join the accelerator today, $1,997, or 3 payments of $797. Scan the QR code or go to donewithyou.com/agency. And we have a couple FAQs. So I think there's 5 FAQs. I'm going to go through these real quick, and then we can answer questions over in the chat bar. Sure. So first of all, how much time do you need to devote to this program every week? Module 1, the modules tend to be about 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours worth of content. So you're going to be able to watch those, zip through the modules. There's downloads. You can, like in module 1, there's a copy of my book. So it's Mindset. So there's a copy of my book, Phoenix Formula. There's also, I walk you through how to use our GSD planner from a goal setting and a daily structuring standpoint. So Kate goes through EOS and entrepreneur operating system stuff. So I'd say 1.5 hours to 2.5 hours worth of content once it's edited and live. You're going to need to implement the business model, right? So I would plan another couple hours on top of that every week. So that way you don't, get behind. But at the same time, you have lifetime access to the course for as long as the course is up. So we're not going to take it away from you, or anything. So I'm just starting out. Is this program suitable for complete beginners? The answer is yes. Just like this webinar, we tried to kind of assume no background. So it's designed for beginners and experienced agency owners who are kind of stalled and they need to take it to the next level. We start with fundamentals in module 1 and 2, and then kind of build progressively from there. Question number 3. What if I don't have any clients yet? Will this program work for me? And the answer is absolutely. Module 4 is all about lead generation and prospecting. So how to get a lead in your system, and then ultimately how to get that lead to sign up for a sales call, and then how to pitch them on your services. Question number 4. How soon can I expect to see results after implementing the strategies taught in your program? So while results can vary, many of our students really start seeing positive changes within the first few weeks. And most of it is because they're showing up differently to calls. They have a little bit more presence, a little bit more swagger. They have a community behind them, right? Because if you have a sales call, you can literally send me their website and I'll tell you the top 3 questions that they're going to ask and what they need help with and how you can position yourself to then sell a $2,500 a month program. Like, that's the kind of community we're trying to build and foster. So,
not to mention that the changes in your business of having your website set up with the right funnels. And this isn't, we showed like the warm funnel, like making a post. This isn't all about organic. If you have just a few dollars a day to boost an ad that is going to your target market, sending them to your funnel, Jason's going to talk to you about all of that. You can have people going to your funnel immediately. Like, this isn't necessarily like, and the other thing is like the expertise and what you need to know. Yes, you need to learn it, but the hardest parts of this business have never been the actual doing of the business. It has always been the building of the business around it. So when Jason says, can you be a beginner and get a client? Yes, you can, because you're using tactics and strategies that have already been proven to work. And so it's something that's very simple that you can set up. So you're getting the benefit, once again, pointing to the benefit of all the trials and tribulations, the things that have worked and the things that have not worked over the last decade for both of us. So this really is just going to be more a matter of you getting the information, like he said, and then actually implementing it. And I highly recommend that while he's saying you have lifetime access to the product, that you keep up with us and implement as we go, because oftentimes, just like what he's saying, it's the shift in mindset. It's the energy that you're bringing to your agency, to your prospecting activities, to your sales and marketing activities, to the confidence that you have on the call, that is the change that you needed in your business. How you write copy and the systems and processes that for that are not the things. Getting better at that is not bringing necessarily more clients to your door. It will over time, because you'll be more confident and you'll, in your abilities. But how do you get better at it? You need these first few. Need these first few clients. You need the next client, every client raising your rate. So when he talks about how soon, well, I don't know. How soon will you implement the strategies that we're teaching you is how soon you're going to get, the results. A lot of this depends on you.
Yep. 5th question. I'm worried about technical aspects of running an agency. Does the program cover this? And the answer is yes. So, Go High Level gives us the ability to let you duplicate funnels and workflows and sales sequences, and literally it's the same stuff that we set up for our clients, so that I can see how many people are a new lead, how many people they had calls with, how did those calls go. Like, we do the same thing for clients that we do for our agency, which we will be you will have access to. There wasn't a service like this before Go High Level. Infusionsoft a little bit, but so that's one of the reasons why it's the fastest growing CRM in the world. And that's one of the reasons why we use it and we're able to give you access the way that we are able to. So there shouldn't be a lot of tech setup that other than pointing and clicking and just needing to learn how to do. So, but most likely, if you are here, you are pretty comfortable with technology. You're not going to run an internet marketing agency if you're scared of Facebook. So some of it is just Googling and learning, so any questions that you have, go ahead and put them over in the chat, over on the screen. Again, we would love to have you join the Agency Accelerator. Just go to donewithyou.com/agency or scan the QR code to get started. I'm just going to check. I'm pretty sure this video should be streaming right on that page. So I'm just going to go check and look and see if it is. Is it? It is. No, it's still signing up for the email address. So you can just bypass that. Once the replay goes live, that's where it's going to be. But yeah. Any other questions? Any questions you got for us?
I'm going to scroll through. There were a couple, although I've been trying to keep up.
I see that. Thank you.
With them. Of course, we got a couple of the questions if it's being recorded. Yes, yes. So you guys can go back and take lots of good notes and review stuff. Let's see.
Oh, Dawn has all kinds of insurance stuff in here. Woo!
Yeah, from Dawn.
Yeah.
Having business or consultants insurance.
Yeah.
That's something that you have, Jason?
Yeah. I
did at one point in time. I probably should have it again. I'll look forward to that module.
Yeah. Yep. We have all that good stuff. We had agency insurance for a little bit. It's interesting. The agency insurance that we had would actually cover us not doing any work. So if we literally signed a contract and did nothing, the agency coverage would actually give us up to $1 million worth of coverage or whatever. But yeah, that was interesting. They discontinued that program. So I wonder why. Cool. Well, it looks like I think we've answered most of the questions.
Yeah.
I scrolled through. Okay.
Yep.
We're at 2 hours and 24 minutes. So
woo, marathon.
As a marathon. So Kate, thank you so much for doing this with me. It was awesome. It's awesome spending time with you. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I really hope that you got some good nuggets out of the presentation. I know it was long. I know we covered a lot, but it was literally all the stuff that I wish somebody had told me really early on about agency stuff. Because frankly, I've never worked for an agency and I figured all of this stuff kind of out as we go. So, yeah, other people come in and they're like, well, this is a pretty clean agency. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I kind of built this on the way down. So it's all good. You know? Cool.
Most definitely. I tried to build your agency when I was younger. I just don't necessarily have the brain for it, which is why I really like my really high retainer clients that I get to work in my, zone of genius. And like I said, everyone kind of has a different vision for their agency. I think maybe when I was younger, I had bigger visions of more money and whatever. And now I'm older and I'm thinking more about slowing down. And so I'm thinking of, other, I'm not in that big growth mindset, but it's okay wherever you are at.
Yep.
I mean, the internet is so wonderful that it's made lifestyle businesses a thing and an option for everyone.
Yep.
So you can work a lot. You can have 167 clients like Jason did. I got up to like 20 or 30 clients and then I burned it all to the ground.
Yep.
And I only work with 3 to 5 high paying clients, a month. And even then my brain just starts to get a little frazzled, right? But that's what, that's what works for me. So that's what's so great about this and why we'd love for you to come is that you can create your own model. That's some hybrid version of whatever we're doing. But I know all of us are craving, more stability, more money put away for retirement, more fun and flexibility. And again, that was really why the opportunity. Thank you, Jason, for inviting me. Or maybe you didn't actually invite me. I think I invited myself.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Jason started putting together and Jason and I meet every Friday just to mastermind between the two of us. And when he started telling me that he was thinking of doing this program and putting together his funnels and his sales pipeline systems and the whole thing. I was like, I want in, I want in. I don't think I even gave him a chance. So this is something we're both really excited about, and I think is a huge opportunity for those of you that, want to go where we've gone. That's what Tony Robbins always says. Like, if you have a goal, find a mentor that is where you want to be and just repeat, follow their, learn what they did and repeat their model. And in this case, you've got two great models to choose from. You can, choose your own adventure. So anyways, thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for hanging on this long. And Jason's going to send out the replay. And I think you said everyone's going to get your procrastinators guide to
once I write it.
promotion.
So that'll probably be next week by the time.
Okay, good. All right. Well, we'll get first crack at it. So thanks everybody. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.